Okay, let's see, cut that back. Sorry about that, guys. You saw a little bit of the before. Now we are live. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, had the painting a few times before in my classroom. Some of you have seen it. It's an orange sunset over a seascape. And it's very easy, and the reason why I'm showing this for our first non-traditional instructional day video is because it uses very few colors. And if you'd like to paint along with us, you can. If you are my current student and you'd like to use this as your non-traditional instructional day video or your non-instructional day assignment, all you have to do is attach it to the assignment on our Google Classroom, which I just got an email saying that the assignment was, sorry, the Google Classroom is down at the moment, but it will be back up. Anyway, you can attach it on there if you want. If you are an existing student of mine or a previous student of mine and you just want to hang out and chat, you're more than welcome to do that. And you may notice that I am wearing this. Well, I never actually record my face. No, I never have a webcam on me, so I never actually purchased a real microphone. Instead, what I'm using is my headset mic, and I'm not really listening to what's coming through here. I'm listening to it through my speakers, so I'm not going to be wearing this. However, you're not going to see this. It's just going to be that back there. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn off this video feed, and we will change it over to the other one, just like that. Now, you may notice that we have some tape on our artwork. This is just so we can have a nice clean line for the seascape. Okay, put that up there. Okay, let's get everything turned back on. Now the colors we're going to be using are right up there on top of the screen. And this painting is very easy to do. In fact, what we're going to start off with, all the colors that I have listed up there, you don't have to have those specific colors. You can just get colors that are close to it. We're mainly just using orange, and to make orange, we're going to be mixing red and yellow together to create that. So first off, I'm going to take some white titanium paint. This is more of a liquidy type of white paint. I use this a lot whenever I'm trying to cover a wide area. So let's go ahead and get that on there. And I do have 2 cups of water and some paper towels available for mixing purposes. And I'm just going to go straight into my white paint like this and put it directly on the canvas. So I'm going to put it right up here. And this is going to be where I want the sun at. So it doesn't have to be a very big area. I'm just putting it up there like this. And this tape you don't necessarily need. You don't need that on there. In fact, all that is for is just so we can have a straight, crisp line whenever we pull that tape off. So we already have, oh, kick my camera. Okay, we have the white down. Let's go ahead and start with the yellow. So I'm taking some yellow right here, putting it off to the side. This is yellow ochre. It's kind of a darker yellow. If you have a brighter yellow, that's fine too. It's not going to matter. So I'm just going to take my dirty paintbrush with the white paint. I'm going to mix it directly in there, just like this. And I'm going to paint it around the sides of where the white paint was. So I'm just going over it like that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our crimson red. I'm going to put some of that down. And I'm going to do the same thing with that. Just go around the outside of the yellow. And then we're going to start blending all this stuff together. So let's come in here, paint around here like that. This paint's a lot different than the paint I'm used to using in the classroom. The paint in the classroom is a lot more watered down. It makes it last a lot longer. By the way, if you are wanting to get some of the paints or the paint brushes that I have, they're fairly inexpensive. In fact, this is the name brand of them, so you can see exactly what it is. I got them on Amazon. They're fairly cheap. The brushes, I really enjoy these brushes. They come in a nice set, just like this. Some of you have probably seen them in the classroom. That is the name of them. And again, they're on Amazon. They're fairly cheap. They're not that expensive. Okay, so once I have that done, I'm going to go straight into my water and I'm going to start blending these colors out. So I'm going to go in there and start blending these colors to make them all match up. And I'm just taking a wet paintbrush and blending them all in. Now my paint has already started to dry. I needed to do this a little bit quicker, but I was commentating. That's okay though, we'll just make this work. So it goes right in here, blends all up. I'll probably need to go back over with some more yellow ochre to make this blend better, but we'll do that in a second. And if it drips down, that's perfectly fine. All that's going to be painted over anyway. I just need that nice crisp line for what I'm going to be doing. Changing my brushes here. What I'm doing, I'm just putting the brush down and making little crisscross motions. And that's going to blend the colors in. As long as you have a wet brush, it'll blend these colors in real nice. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my paints so they go a lot further, and you can see they're blending easier like that. Okay, now I'm probably going to need to mix up some more yellow ochre right here and get a nice orange going on. So let's get that orange right about here. I'm going to take another yellow that I have. I thought the yellow ochre would be fine. We might need a brighter yellow. This is actually a lemon yellow, so I'll add that up to the list of paints in a second. So I'm going to take some lemon yellow right here, and we're going to paint that in there. And it doesn't matter if it looks a little bit sloppy, because we're going to go back over and we'll fix that in a minute. Okay, so once I have that down, I'm going to wash out my brush. I have a paper towel right over here. And now I can go in with a dry, clean brush and just blend this out more. Okay, and I'm going to go straight back into my titanium white right here, and let's start blending all this outward. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of water on here, and I'm just blending these colors right in. Just going back and forth blending these colors. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit more yellow because I want that to be a little bit brighter than it was. And blend some of this in right over here. When I was mixing all this up, I should have watered down my paints. But, oh well. Sometimes you have good painting days and sometimes you don't. Happy little accidents. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more of the crimson red, put it on the sides, and we should be done with the majority of the sunset. Next, we're going to add in some clouds, which are very simple to do. Alright, once we got that in, I'm going to go ahead and blend these colors a little bit more, so clean off my brush. Just go into these harsh lines and just blend them right in. Okay, and there we have a pretty decent sunset. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in some clouds in there. And clouds are very simple to do. If you have a fan brush, it makes it a lot easier. So what you are going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of brown and I'm going to mix in some of the red crimson. And then I'm also going to take just a drop of black. And what we want to do, we want to make a very dark undercolor for the cloud, so a shadow. Simple to do. You just take these colors, kind of mix them together. Now there's not a real science of how much you need. You just need to eyeball it and see what looks like a good colorful shadow for the bottom of a cloud. You basically want it a darker version of the sky that it's in. So that looks about right. That looks like about the right color. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plop in some clouds. And how you do that, you just plop it down with your brush. Just kind of spin your brush around, plop it down wherever you think a cloud needs to be, and try to keep it level because you don't want clouds going in different planes. The bottom of the cloud needs to stay level with everything else. So you can have a cloud here. Let's pop one down here, just be, sporadic. Plop one right about here, and we can, like that, spin it around, kind of plop it in there. Now these dark colors are what's going to give your clouds depth. So if you want to keep some more dark colors in there than light, that's perfectly fine. Okay, now once you have the dark colors in, then the easiest way to make clouds is to go over it with some lighter color. So I'm going to take some little bit of white that we have right here, and it already has some of the crimson mixed in with it. I'm just going to load up my fan brush just like this, and you don't need to have a fan brush. You can have any kind of brush. As long as it's a flat brush, then you can load it up like this. In fact, you can even use a round brush for the blending of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to come right in here and I'm going to just and push it down like that. And then we spin it around a little bit, and that way you can make a nice curve to your clouds. And don't try to kill all the dark areas. The dark areas is what gives your clouds the depth that they need. So you can just plop them in just like that. I'm going to go in here again, add some more, and then just like that. And you can even make little sound effects. Those are fun. Just like that. Let's do the last cloud right down here. Boom, 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 boom. Just like that. Now those clouds look a little overbearing, and that's fine. What we're going to do, we are going to clean off our fan brush. Make sure it's nice and clean. Dry it off, get all the paint off of it, and then what we're going to do, we are going to use that fan brush to go in and fluff these clouds out. So dry it off, make sure it's nice and dry, have all the paint off of it, and we're going to go in and we're just going to take a corner of it and we're going to just kind of swirl it around. Some of those rough areas, it's going to get swirled around. Now my fan brush wasn't completely dry, so it kind of stuck in there. Another option you can do, and I kind of mentioned this before, if you take a flat round brush, which I think is what I'm going to do right now. It's kind of flat and rounded. You can actually take this and you can stab it and make your transition of the clouds and make it a smooth cloud transition into that. So it looks nice and fluffy. And just take those curves and round them out. And it makes a really nice effect for clouds. So just go up there wherever you think it needs it and just round those colors out. And then periodically just clean off your brush and go right back to it. Now this works better if you have a bigger brush, but this will work just fine with a smaller brush too. So in between every one of the clouds, I am cleaning off the brush. You don't want to kill all the dark areas. Leave some of those up there. That makes the cloud pop. In fact, if you want to put some more of the dark areas back in there, you can actually use the same brush you did before, or the same brush you did for the blending, and you can just and plop some of those colors right back in there, and that will blend those colors in further. So I'm just going in, I'm plopping in some more colors where I think the shadows are going to be, and the shadows are not everywhere. You need to plan these shadows out. The shadows are going to be where the sun is not hitting the cloud. So on some of these clouds, the underside is going to be in shadow. For instance, the cloud right here. And other ones, the upper side is going to be in shadow. It's wherever the sun is not hitting. Okay, now I'm going to go in, dried my brush off, and I'm going to just soften up some of these lines. Same thing I did before, just softening them up. Give the clouds a nice transition. In fact, I'm going to make this cloud look like it's raining. All I'm doing there, I'm just taking some of this paint and I'm swooshing it down and making it look like that it's raining. Okay, next, since we got the sky mostly done, there's a few areas that I'd like to go in and tweak, but it's not bad. I think it's close enough. Since we got that mainly done, let's move on to the sea. And the sea, this is going to be the fun part because it's a whole lot easier than the sky and the clouds. I say that and I keep going with the clouds. You can just spend so much time on clouds. Clouds are so fun. But anyway, let's move on. So with the sea, what we're going to do, we're going to try to copy the exact same thing that we did at the top down at the bottom, except we're not going to be as heavy-handed with the colors. We're just going to mute the colors. And the best way to do that, since we already have colors down there, we're going to take our dirty water, which is exactly the same colors that we've been mixing up, and I'm going to try to blend some of these harsh lines in. Now with paint that's been watered down, it's a whole lot easier to do that. With this kind of paint, it's more art grade paints than student grade paints, and it's a little bit more difficult to do that with, but it's okay because we will be painting over this. We just want to loosen this up a little bit so it's easier to cover. Okay, now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and remove this tape line, and whenever you do that, make sure that you pull it at an angle like that. That way, if it does rip the paper like it is right there, it's not going to tear up the picture above it. So, rip it like that, and we can always go in and fix these lines later. Okay, so the next step, we are going to take some of these colors that we put up here and we're going to drop them down at the bottom. So I'm just going to take some lemon yellow like I added in before. I'm going to put it right up here and boom, I'm going to drag it across just like that. And it's going to be a little texture on here because I ripped the paper like a dummy. I should have removed some of the adhesive before I put it on the paper, but it is what it is. It's a tutorial video. Okay, so we got some yellow down. We're going to bring that on down. Add some more water to it. Bring that on down, right about down through here. And the next step we want to do, we want to add in some orange and red like we did right at the top. But again, we're going to have these watered down. So I'm just going to take some red ochre that I already have right here. Or sorry, not red ochre. It is crimson. Oh my goodness. Crimson. It's red. There you go. Crimson. There you go. Crimson red. And I'm going to put it right up here. And I'm just going to plop in, just kind of waving it back and forth like that. Same thing on this side, just kind of plop, 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 and waving it back and forth. And then I'm going to take my colors, and I'm just going to go ahead and start painting it. And the further away it gets from the sun, the closer these gaps are going to be on the water. So down here, we're going to make the crimson go pretty much right next to the yellow. Sorry, right next to each other. Not much yellow down at the bottom, but up at the top, there we go. We have more yellow. Okay, going to take some water, and we're just going to blend these in better. And it's okay if you leave a little bit of pink on there. That's perfectly fine. We can blend that later, and with the waves, it'll make it look like that it's just highlights. So that's fine. What I'm doing here, I'm actually turning my brush on its side so I get the very tip of the brush and I can make those little straight lines that you see right there. If that's something you like, you just kind of hold it like you would a knife and just kind of graze it across it. Okay, and let's blend the same thing over here, same way we did before. And we are actually going to need some more crimson. That's okay. Okay. Now I'm going to take some of the dark brown that we had before, and I'm going to mix that directly into this line where the sky meets the water. I'm going to fade it in just like that, let it die off where it hits the sun, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just in, pick it up, and let it die off when it hits the sun. Then I'm going to take that, and we're going to curve it down, just like that right there. Okay, same thing again. We're going to go over here and we're going to fade this down just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to just a little bit right there, cover up that white area. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to add in some of the waves. And what we're going to need a little bit more brown, a little bit of black, and a little bit of red crimson. And that's the same mixture that we had previously with the clouds. So make the shadows of that. And I'm going to put some black over off to the side for later because we're going to need that. This painting's almost done. So a little bit of red, a little bit of black, and a little bit of brown. Okay, and let's see here. Okay, let's mix all this up together. A little bit of red, brown, and black. Sorry about that. I had to go and check the computer. Mix all that up together. Make that dark color. Same thing we had before. Just like that. And we are going to go in and we're going to think about where the waves are going to be. Now, of course, when they get further away, they're a little bit darker. And let's say that's a mountain back there in the background because we kind of flubbed that one up. But we can make that a mountain. We go boom, cliff. There you go. It's a mountain. Okay. Now, let's see. We have a little bit of a wave right here, let's say. And it's just a straight line. Try to make it as straight as you can. And if you do put a wave on the same level, make sure that they are perfectly straight. Otherwise, it's going to make it look like that the ocean has rocks or something in it that's obstructing the flow of the waves. So let's have it like that. Let's have one over here. Let's say put one right there. And let's put another one there. And as they get further away, they also get closer together because when things are further away, they are smaller, therefore they are closer to one another. And I'm going to have one wave right here that goes just like that. Okay. Now once we have those dark colors, we are done with that for the moment. You can go add in some more of these if you want. It's all up to you. It's your own personal preference. I personally am done with this. So let's go ahead and add in some highlights for the water. We are very close to being completed with this. All we have to do is finish up the waves and add the foreground. So with the waves, all you need is a lighter color, so probably a pink like this because everything else is red. And we're going to take this wave and we're just going to dance it across where we think that the highlights are going to be on the water. So just up like this and then and we're going to swoosh it over like that. Just like that. That's all we have to do with that. Then we go back in here, we add some more, and we can do the same thing for back here, where it goes just like that. And sound effects. You always have to have the sound effects. And it's very easy to just go in and add some of these highlights in. Just here and there, add little highlights. All right, final step. The final step is now the foreground. go ahead and clean off our brush, and we are going to add in the black paint. I'm watering down the black paint so it flows easier. Mix it all up nice and good. Make sure it's all black in there. Okay. And now what we're going to do, we're going to come right here and go whoosh. I'm going to add in a little hill right there that is blocked off by the sun. Or blocked off, it's blocking off the ocean. There you go. Little hill right there. A little bit more black on there. And now I'm going to add in some little grass sprouts. And these are super easy to add in. All you have to do, take your brush, make sure you have some black paint that's watered down because it's going to make it a lot easier to flow and paint with. You just go just like that. Start off with the point and just curve your brush up. That's it. That's all you have to do. If you want a thinner line, just get a thinner brush. That's all you have to do. I want this to look like it's really close, so I'm adding in a big brush. And you just add in these little grass sprouts wherever you think they need to be. You don't want to add in too many because if you do, then it takes away from that this is a hill. You still want to have that illusion that the hill is there. And something that I like to add in is a palm tree leaf. Very easy to do. Again, just make sure you have some black paint, have it watered down so it's nice and fluid. I'm going to actually add a little bit more. And we're just going to come right up here and we're going to go down like that. And I'm going to cut it in. And then with the leaves, it's very simple. Same thing we did with the grass. Just curve it up. Curve it up, make it go down. There you go. And then you do the same thing to the opposite side. Just don't forget to reload your brush whenever you need it. There we have a nice little palm leaf too. And you know what? I think that there's something else that's needed in this. So let's add in a seagull or two right up here. Very easy to do. All you have to do is pinch your brush, push it down like that, and there you have the wings of a seagull. Just there you have it. You can even change it around like this. And then add in a little dot for the body. Okay, and there we have it. Go in and give you a closer view of this. And there's our painting that we have completed. Let's hide all this stuff. Well, I'd like to thank you very much for joining me. If you like this video, please like, subscribe down below. Then again, you all are my students, so I'm not allowed to say that. So sorry about that. That was actually just habit. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you all have a good rest of your day. Don't forget to check in with your other teachers and make sure that you are doing your assignments. Please let us know how you're doing. If you need any help, anything like that, all of the teachers are available to assist you as best they can. So please let us know. We will gladly help you any way that we can. Thank you very much. I hope you all have enjoyed, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.